Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. So today I kind of wanted to go over who I am. I've been saying for a long time that most of you know me, but some of you don't. However, I think it's the other way around. Most of you have no idea who I am, and some of you do. So I would like to cover why I made this channel. Why am I the one doing this? Why have I decided to put myself out there, put out my place, my time, and show you why I feel like I should be able to do this. So I bought this truck in 2006. If you watch my introduction video, I had said about getting involved in the OBS world heavily in 2006. That was this truck. This truck's gone through a lot of changes. I've had it for almost 20 years, and it's been good to me. I've had some mishaps lately. However, I bought it with 76,000 miles, and now it's got 458,000 miles. So I wanted to go over this truck and kind of show you what I've done to it. And I couldn't have done it without a lot of help from some friends who would assist me or help me get the information that I needed to do what I was trying to do with this truck. So, like I said, this truck's been this way for a long time. It's got a couple different changes. In 2011, it was in a magazine under Diesel Power called Built Not Bought. So that was in November 2011. This truck was in a magazine article, and there was none of this lovely rust here. And we're also going to cover rust in another video on how you can try to prevent it and keep it from coming back or showing up on your OBS truck. So I'd like to go over this a little bit with you and show you a little bit of what I've done to this truck. Probably split it up into a couple different videos. Try to do an exterior, try to do one with the engine, try to do one with the inside. So there'll be a couple different videos on this truck, and it'll be mixed in with a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of other content that we have going on right now. So that way we don't get strung out on something. Try to keep the content fresh and try to keep you guys up to date on all the projects and what's going on, and try to keep from being repetitive. So I'm going to go ahead, grab the camera. We'll go over the outside of this truck, what I've done exterior wise, and then you can kind of get an idea of what's gone into the outside of this truck on this video. So we'll go ahead and start at the front of this truck. Another set of Baja retrofits, Baja HID retrofits up here in the front of this truck. We are running a buck stop bumper on the front of this also. And I can confirm that it does stop bucks. I've hit quite a few with it, and I think the worst damage I've ever done to it is there's a scratch right here. So that was from an antler, which that's all it did to the bumper. However, the Pennsylvania salt and rocks have done more to this bumper than any deer has. So running some good lights in the front of this truck. That light bar there is probably 15 years old. The only thing I've ever done to it was have it repowder coated. Been beautiful. Those are Rigid brand. Running our Cervini's cowl hood on this. This hood's been on this truck since 2007. Paint's a little bit rough on it by now, but it still looks pretty good on the truck. Obviously we have the rust, but we don't even want to talk about that. These axles are from a 2006 F-250. Put these in the truck in 2010. Late 2010, I do believe it was in November of 10. So these axles have been under this truck for quite some time. I want to say there's probably 200,000 miles on these. Running the 4,400 pound coil springs up front with a 2-inch leveling spacer. So you can see it's starting to show its age under here, but we're still doing pretty good. Running a 2.5-inch Fox race shock with the CD adjusters. That shock made a big difference in the ride of this truck. Did a lot of time and research in them as far as videoing bumps and how the truck reacted. I used to run Bilsteins on this, and ever since I switched to the Fox, I'll never go back to the Bilsteins. So under here we're running an RYD track bar. This track bar has been reinforced to updated standards by RYD. So like I had said in my 05 axle swap video, these track bars are unique to the company's setup. So I'm running stock coil buckets. Their track bar is designed for a 3-inch lift because that's what their coils are. Their coil buckets are set up as. So with my 0 to 2-inch leveling kit track bar that's adjustable, I still had to shorten that bar about 1/4 of an inch to get the axle centered back under the truck. So this is why I said you need to really do your research on an 05 axle swap, because a track bar can make you, break you, and then you can also put a kit on and wonder, why is my truck 6 inches off the ground? I didn't do a lift. So this is all stuff that I've figured out over the years. Once again, no sway bar on the front of this truck. Never had one. Probably not going to put one on it. So what you're not going to see on this truck in this video is the signal mirrors. The signal mirrors I haven't put on probably about 2 or 3 years now. It's been hard to put them on in the spring. The truck's been looking a little bit rough. I've been driving it a lot more in the wintertime than I usually do. And I'm worried about damaging the mirrors and also having issues getting them on and off and breaking the door panels, since you got to pull the door panel every time you change a mirror. So I've been letting those go for now. Something else you're not going to see is the Powr-Lite rear window. It is naturally broken again, which is no surprise because that's what they do best, is break. So it's not in. Hopefully I can get it back in whenever I get this truck redone. So like I said, we got the rust back here. I actually was pulled over by a state trooper and told that if I didn't cover up the jagged edges on the cab and fenders, that I would receive a ticket. So that's why you have the very horrible patch job. And then underneath, in the back here, these are a 304 brushed stainless steel traction bars. These were made by a guy named Tommy. He runs Patriot Welding down in California, Kentucky. Does a very nice job with these. These have been on the truck for a few years now. They are not coated, painted, powder coated, nothing. They are raw stainless. They look like this all of the time. The only thing I've ever done is whenever I wash the truck, I wipe the bars down with a sponge. Clean as a whistle. I love them. So something else we're running back here is we're running the 2.0 Fox shocks with the CD adjusters on those as well. What's nice about the CD adjusters front and rear, so I do believe the rear ones you can adjust your high rate. On the front ones you can adjust your high and low rate because they are the race shocks. And we're also running a 99 to 04 A code leaf spring back here and the Super Duty bolts. I chose to use the Super Duty factory bolts just because I wanted to make sure that they were in the eyelets correctly of the leaf springs. Then also, we have these 20-inch wheels. These are the most popular wheels right now. They have been for a very, very long time. Been very popular for a long time. We're running a 35 1250 on here. I love these Toyo AT2 tires. They discontinued them. There's an AT3 out there now. It's supposed to be just as good. I believe there's about 55,000 miles on these right now. I generally get 60 to 80,000 out of a set of these tires. Running the smoke taillights in the back of this truck. These ones specifically came from Complete Performance. These can be had just about anywhere on the internet. I haven't really dove into the quality differences. However, I know that they started getting these produced again, so I went ahead and bought them from them because they did the legwork on it. These are a couple years old now. They've been holding up pretty good, and I would buy another set if I had to or wanted to. This is the original tailgate for this truck. I took it off when I first bought it and put a smooth one on because this one's got a little bit of a wrinkle in the top from somebody not unhooking a gooseneck. No surprise, but came with the truck, and the old one rotted out, so I went ahead and put that one back on. Also running a Kurt extra duty hitch on the back of this truck with a B&W flip turnover ball. That thing's nice. And then obviously the 08 and up differential cover, which I put on all the trucks. Back bumper showing some wear. That was installed in this truck in 1995 when it was new, because this truck originally came without a rear bumper. A little tight on this side, but this side's the same as the other side, just a little bit ugly. Something else I'd like to cover about the front axle on this truck is we are running an adjustable 3-link. So this 3-link, they don't make anymore. It's made by Pure Performance, same as the track bar in the front. And these links, I like these because I could rock the top of the axle back. So in doing so, instead of pushing the axle forward, you're rocking the axle back. I like that a little bit better because of how these are designed. So you have all of the stiff arm on the bottom instead of the stiff arm on the top. If you were to ever get into an accident, you don't have to worry about the bottom of the radius arm failing on you as much as you would a solid stiff arm. And then we're also running a 2005, 2006, 2007 front drive shaft, and I have modified the transfer case to run a Bronco flange to take that drive shaft instead of the NV271, which is in the other truck. Hard to see that under here with the skid plates and everything, so I can't really show that to you. Don't have the truck on the lift to get underneath it. But the exterior of this truck has been pretty much the same for a long, long time here. But I wanted to go over this and show you what we've done to the outside of this truck. And the only thing that's been painted on this truck is the roof, because the roof rotted on me, and the hood and the steps. This whole side of the truck is all original paint, which can't really complain for 458,000 miles, especially when most of those miles were put on in Pennsylvania and driven through the winter and everything else. So if you'd like to see more about this truck, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to go ahead and put some more videos up of this truck later on and cover the engine and the interior. And hopefully you guys can follow along with that, just to kind of give you a background on my history of what I've done with these trucks. That way I'm not just some guy that's saying do this, do that with no actual experience. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.